Century 3 is closing down, closing down, closing down. Century 3 is closing down. Is anyone surprised? Actually, the owners of Century 3 had said for a long time that they were committed to keeping the mall open, Century 3 Mall, and that they were going to do whatever they can to keep the mall thriving and rolling and moving along. But now even they, despite all of their optimism, they're giving up. They're throwing in the towel, and they're selling off the property. So I want to hear from you. You can tweet me at RiverTalkPGH, or you can hit us up in the Facebook Live chat. What your thoughts are on the mall closing and what you think should replace Century 3 Mall. Should they doze it? Should they put in another UPMC hospital that won't pay taxes? Or do you have some other creative ideas? I know I have a few myself. We'll ask the people here in the studio what they think as well. I'm really sad to see Century 3 go. It was a mall that I frequented when I was in college, and I have some interesting memories there. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit. Maybe we won't. I don't know. We've got some interesting topics. We have Michael Sorg in studio with the Awesome Thing of the Month, as he is every month. Hello, Sorg.
Hey, how's it going? Good to be here.
Things are good, good. Oh, good, except for the Century 3 Mall closing. I'm bummed about that.
I am, too. I was watching pro wrestling in that mall just a little bit ago. A promotion
really?
was in the third floor there, and even just going there over the months, just watching like the next month's like the couple of things left in the food court would be going away. It's just like really but man, the comic book shop has been just stretching its legs with all the room there and like having tabletop space and everything like that. I think that's it's cool to see those kinds of things, or the weird things that go into the mills out the other end of town, out by New Kent and everything. So I mean, it's just a different era.
Yeah, very, very crazy. We're going to get into that when we could maybe even talk about the mills a little bit, why some of these malls are failing and all of that. This is River Talk. It's on the River's Edge Radio Network. I'm Brian Crawford, and we are Pittsburgh's voice for local music. I also have Zach Rock here in studio. He is with Nameless and August. Nameless and August, you have your mic there? Awesome, right, great. And we're going to be talking with you about your recent album release and the Millvale Music Festival and all of that good stuff. You're welcome to join in on the conversation as we go on. But I really am sad. Are you sad about Century 3 Mall closing? Did you go there often?
I'm not from here. I've lived here about 10 years, and I've only been there, I think, once, maybe twice.
So which store did you go to?
Oh,
out of the two or three that were still there.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I had a first impression of that place, which would be like 2014 was my first time ever going to Century 3, we'll say. I have no idea why I was there, actually. I think it was something urgent, and it's the only store in town, some rare store. I don't know what it was. Maybe Scrubs or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they did have a Scrubs store there,
yeah.
Which brings me back to one of the cool memories of that place. But Century 3 Mall was really interesting, and I think one of its biggest problems is just the fact that it's on 51, and who in the hell wants to drive down 51? It's a nightmare. So when I used to go there, I was coming from Cal U, and it was a little bit easier to get there from Cal U. Of course, now as a college student, you wouldn't be able to pay the fees to ride 43 because they've risen them so much that it's no longer affordable to drive on. But we would go there all the time, and Century 3 was really great because there was the one store, it was on the third floor with the comic book shop, and it was called Cash and Culture, and my friend Dee was the store manager way back. We're talking about year one of the River's Edge. Dee had an occurring segment on this show. She was Dee Faust, the Culture Queen. And she was the store manager of that Cash and Culture. And we would go there, and it was this huge Cash and Culture. It was up on the third floor. You felt like you were breaking the rules just by going up to the third floor, because what mall has a third floor?
There was always those weird balconied ones where you're like, that's where all the offices are, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we would go up there to the third floor. I'd hang out with D-Faust. I would just be there. Oh, first off, we'd all go up as a group from college. It was like a caravan. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump was like standing at the door with the National Guard trying to stop us from coming in. But we broke through anyways, and we made our way into the Century 3 Mall. And it was always like this big group of people. We would take several vehicles. There would be sometimes up to 10 of us that would go to Century 3 Mall. And they were like children, my friends. I would have to hurdle them up and try to get them to leave. I remember one time we were down at the university and I wanted to go, and I got sick of waiting and I just left. And if the people who weren't there, they just got left behind. But we would go up to Century 3 Mall. Well, you know what?
That's wrong.
You can only wait. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. You can only wait for so long. You tell someone a certain time that you're going to leave, and then you leave.
It's fine. There's Uber.
There.
There's Uber.
Well, back then there was not. Back then there was not. This is back in like the early 2000s, or like I guess like 2006, 2007. So we'd go up to Century 3 Mall. I'd go up into Cash and Culture, and we would spend hours there. We became friends with the employees, and I would buy things purely out of guilt because I would spend so much time in there, and I felt after 2 or 3 hours in this store, I feel like I should buy something.
And that's why malls are going under, because the guilt factor isn't there anymore.
That's true. That might
Maybe
be
that's
true.
the reason.
That might be it. I don't know.
I think there's too many of them. That's probably the problem.
Too many malls?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. This is like well, one of the problems with Century 3, and I think I talked about this on this show before. If not, I've talked about it just in general. But there have been some studies that show that malls that have very long aisleways do worse. If you look at the successful malls and the malls that seem to be busy, they're malls that have sharp angles and you can always see the end of a hallway because people subconsciously, they're not willing to walk a certain distance to get to a store. They'll walk the same distance if you trick them into it. So if you have a bunch of angles and it looks like they're coming to an end.
Look at Robinson, where it is that angled setup. You always see like the end of at least a section there, right?
Exactly.
You know, I can think Niles, I believe, is still thriving. Is one that I used to go home back home. It was like about an hour away. It was the nice mall. That was more than just a couple of stores. And it was like a big X, and there's like the side mall, like the, what are they called, like the Galleria mall, like on the side where it's the smaller shops, and that's like in this kind of back hallway thing where so like, and those seem to do okay, right?
They do. Well, Westmoreland Mall, where I grew up, it's a giant X with the big center. So you would, there's a dead end. Obviously, you have to turn around. You come back the other way, and people just, I don't know why. I personally like the giant hallways at a mall such as Pittsburgh Mills because I'm a walker, and honestly I'm part of the problem because I don't really go to the mall to shop for anything. I just go to walk around in the wintertime.
That's the problem. We're used to Walmarts and we're used to Amazons, and not just the online stuff is killing it. It's just I think this was a product of like the 60s or something, right? 70s, something like that, where it was like, let's have a place where everybody comes and they congregate in community. But there's so many other places you can do that, from coffee shops to online to other third spaces, right? It doesn't thrive as a third space where teenagers are going to anymore because they just have so many other options and not just sitting at home playing video games, to be quite honest. It's just, they're competing with everything else for attention in your time. So who's going to take the time to go to a mall unless they need to fix their iPhone?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think what they're doing at this mall here in Ross Park seems to make a lot of sense, where they're trying to bring in more unique stores and to make it more of a destination location instead of just your typical mall stores. Well, obviously Sears is going out of business there, but they're not going to replace Sears with another. They're not going to replace Sears with Bon-Ton. I guarantee it. They're going to bring in something trendy and something unique at that mall.
And it's the neighborhoods too. West Mifflin. I don't think there's a lot of, I don't know a better way to put it, like the higher end neighborhoods, that like versus like South Hills Village seems to be thriving, and it's right there in Bethel Park and Mount Lebanon, right? So there's a lot to support it and those kinds of stores, people that will go shop at a Victoria's Secret or I can't even think of what the other ones are at this point.
I don't know.
Right? But who
are there other ones besides the comic book
like
store?
a Nordstrom's pops in my head for some reason.
But not there.
Not there.
That is the reason it's closing. It is that area is not flourishing like the North Hills is in Cranberry.
No.
So I think that'd be one of the main contributing factors of that mall closing. Just the surrounding area isn't flourishing.
But the businesses around it are doing well.
Are they?
It seems to be. There's always stuff that seems to be going up there all the time. There are 2 Denny's within like a mile from each other. That is a sign of success if I ever had one.
Okay.
So I mean, something like that. It's a throughway 51. So many people come through there. So all the strip malls do well. I guess like some things like Quaker Steak have gone out there. The theater just got renovated there with it's a luxury theater and not the like dollar theater that it was before. Wow. That was a horrible. It's one of those they tore everything out, and it's one of those nice flat theaters, and it's like the electric recliners and everything, assigned seating, kind of situations. I've seen
those are wonderful. They have one of those up at the waterworks, and oh my goodness, I fell asleep during Star Wars.
That's the other problem.
Yeah, I mean I also was working overnight, but still, I mean, it was so comfortable that you easily fell asleep. And it's wonderful because even when someone passes in front of you, you could still there's no you don't even have to put your legs down for them to pass you. It's amazing.
Yes,
they got a lot of space in there, and then probably charge a little bit more for the ticket too, but it makes a lot of sense.
They really
Not
didn't
necessarily though. Yeah,
that's the crazy part. I expected them to, and they didn't. I go in there.
Cinemark didn't, and they changed the assigned seatings.
Well, she said she was raising the price. Like I go in there. Well, I go in there. I go to order my ticket, and the girl behind the counter is already defeated. She goes, "I'm sorry. It's the deluxe seating price." And I said, "Oh, well, this is the show I wanted to go to at the time." I said, "How much is it?" And she tells me, and I thought, "Oh, that's not that much. It was only like $10 or something."
Yeah, that's fine.
And then I had to pick my seat, and I was like quietly outraged because I hate when you have to pick a seat. And I'm like, I don't want to pick a seat. I didn't say that to her. I just picked the seat. So I'm not going to give her grief. She's not making the rules. So I go in there, and then I was, okay, I understand why I had to pick a seat now.
Why do you not like picking a seat? I don't see.
Because I want to sit exactly where I want to sit, and I like to scope the theater out and then pick a seat
you
based
get
on
the lay of the land.
Yeah.
You know.
You don't know where people. You want to space yourself out accordingly.
Exactly.
So you make that decision without knowing where everyone else is.
Exactly.
I see. I guess that makes sense.
Are you a sweet spot person? Like,
I
do
am.
you know about the sweet spot?
Yeah.
Are you aware of this?
It's kind of in the middle of the theater.
In the middle of the theater, you see where all the speakers are, and you count towards the middle of the speakers because it's not always the center of the theater.
Yes.
And that's the optimal place to get the surround sound. You get the nice centered view of the screen. Audio file.
Centered with the speakers.
Centered with the speakers. So like sometimes it'll be 5 speakers. So
it's big business when you go to watch a movie.
Oh yeah. So. Usually it's like the second or third row if you're in like the stadium seating, or something else. If it's like just the rows, So
the only time I would say there's an exception to that is if you go to I think it's called Phoenix now. It used to be called Destinta out in North Versailles.
The big Phoenix theater. I love it because it's so old and cavernous, and again has that upper part where it looks important and officey, and you're not supposed to go up there.
Yeah. So I would go there. Well, now it's all mixed up. They have a bar up there now, actually, which is nice. But their stadium seating, they're not reclining like the other ones. But they have a railing in the front row, so you always want to sit in the front row there because then you could throw your feet up over the railing.
Not that stops everybody.
You're not supposed to do that?
No, not that stops people from putting their feet up on other chairs.
Oh, try doing it with me. So,
yeah. Well, see, the great thing is I have Movie Pass. I've been doing it for months, and we have such a weird schedule. As you're familiar with the weird schedules.
Yeah.
And we end up going like Wednesday or Thursday night. Like we saw Blockers with like John Cena Wednesday night, and we were like the only people in. And it was the first week it was running, so it was in the big theater, right? So we have this giant theater to ourselves.
Do you like having the theater for yourself, or do you like having the experience of other people being there? Because people say that the best thing about going to the movies is having other people there. I disagree.
Yeah. I think comedies, having more people there, like I feel like there's things we would have laughed more at if there were other people with us that would have laughed at it. And when you're by yourself in a movie that has certain humor, like if you don't have... audience pays a lot of difference. I believe that in professional wrestling when you're watching a pay-per-view. I believe that in comedies, especially for things like that.
I always prefer to have the theater myself because I don't like to hear other people. There's always some jerk in the theater. Talking on the cell phone.
See, the thing that happens now is...
spilling popcorn on the floor.
The thing that happens is you go and you've been watching the movie for like 15, 20 minutes, a half an hour. Then somebody comes in, right? And they come in and then they have all the food and drink, and they're crinkling, or they're eerily silent, and then they leave about 10 minutes before the movie ends. And you're just like, what the hell is happening right now?
What are you doing?
Right?
Yeah.
What are these people? And this has happened multiple times to us because it's always that weird, like we might decide to go tonight, for all we know, right? But it's always like those kinds of times. I'm rarely ever there, like Saturday, Friday, anything like that. Because
we went
that's when
for
I work.
Star Wars once for episode 2, and we're in there, and then my bad movie to start. So, but we're there. I'm excited about it. And my mother's there, and my sister. We all went as kind of like a family thing, and they're making fun of Yoda, saying how Yoda looked like my grandmother because of the long nails and the wrinkles and everything else. And I used
to carry her on your back.
Yes, I was angry at the time, but looking at it now, it's a very accurate description of my grandmother. But we're there, and these kids are running up and down the steps.
Yeah.
We're at Distinta because I lived in that area, and they're physically running up and down the steps. I stand up in the
During
theater
the movie.
during the movie. So I stood up and I said, "Sit your ass down and shut up."
You did not.
I did.
I would. Dude, I would at that point.
You're paying
at that
money
point,
for it.
no. Yeah, if I would have dropped $15. Now, with Movie Pass, I don't give a crap. So, but that's great.
With what?
With the Movie Pass thing, I don't give a crap.
I don't even know what that
care.
is.
It's I pay $10. I get a credit card. You check in the theater. You can watch one movie a day, unlimited.
Oh, wow.
So now, like, so I'll go see any movie. And if it sucked, I'm like, oh, well, I got to see a movie.
Yeah.
If somebody's talking the movie, I don't care anymore. I paid my $10 for the month, right? But to that, I wanted to tell you my worst experience. That same theater that's now the cool luxury one in Century 3 used to be that $1.50 theater. We saw Butterfly Effect, right? And as the movies are like on their way out or something. So we're in there, and there's like a family like in the front row, right? And at first I'm like, wow, those kids are kind of young, right? And you guys watch Butterfly Effect? Like,
I think I watched
there's some
it.
bad stuff. Like, there's this part where they kill a dog that's like really grotesque and disturbing. If I was like 8 years old, that would have stuck with me, right?
Wow.
It's like all those horror movies that my grandparents used to watch when they were babysitting me. That's weird. But anyways, they're there and like, the kids are acting up in the front row. It's a hour and a half, 2 hour movie, and all of a sudden I hear them say, "Sit down and go to sleep." I'm just like, so they paid $1.50 for these, the kids to come with them so they could see a movie, a horrible rated R movie, right? And for the purpose of them, like, go down, go sit in the seat and fall asleep during this movie that's slamming, loud, in your ears.
Wow.
It was just crazy. But
that is crazy. So what do you have any memories from Century 3? You haven't been there very often.
Yeah, I think one time. I really don't know why I was there.
Yeah. So Sorg, what's your favorite memory of Century 3 Mall?
I mean, really, I popped in there every once in a while, but really the weirdness of watching a pro wrestling event
that would be
in the place. By the way, the room they were in, I believe, was the former Cash and Culture before they moved downstairs.
Okay, that's when the mall started to go downhill. Was when they moved downstairs.
Started moving them downstairs.
They started having wrestling matches instead of.
Well, there's that too.
I think that's actually kind of an improvement in some ways.
Yeah, it wasn't great wrestling. It was not. No. But
Cash and Culture, they lost their aura when they moved a floor down. When they were upstairs, they were the cool place you wanted to go.
And New Dimension was up there too, weren't they?
They were.
Yeah.
Yes,
so like it was like
were.
this, like it's our geek corner of Century 3.
And it was on a different floor, and it was separated. It was like going into the attic or something. And it was so cool. But when Century 3 moved down in particular, when the comic book store, New Dimension, when they moved down, they kept their cool vibe, even though obviously it's not as cool as being on the third floor.
And New Dimension is really good. I've met the guys that run that place, and they're really cool.
Well, the problem is I feel like the guy with Cash and Culture, the people who run it, that they want it to be like EB Games or something, and
wow.
I don't think they realize
EB Games.
I don't think they realize what they have.
How about Babbage's while we're at it? Software, etc.
Yeah, there we go.
I know that one.
Software, etc.
There we go. I knew I'd get you. By the way, they're all one company now. They're all GameStop.
Yeah, that's actually that's the name I was looking for, was GameStop. They want to be GameStop or EB Games or whatever.
Electronic Boutique, I
KB
think that
Toys.
EB was.
Yeah.
KB Toys. KB Toys come back.
Are they?
Really?
They vowed, somebody bought the license or something. They're bringing them back, and they vowed to hire as many Toys R Us employees as possible.
Oh, wow.
Since they're all
there is
out
somebody
of
actually trying to buy Toys R Us as well.
Good.
So they may not be going away
in the
completely.
meantime, people were having adult rape parties in the old closed Toys R Us. You hear about this?
Oh, my gosh.
I just heard about
I
this.
have two questions.
I just heard about this like this morning.
Wow.
So what were they having?
They're having like rave parties, like drug rave parties or something in the shut down Toys R Us's that just went out. So,
well, that kind of brings me to my next point. So, what should be done with Century 3 Mall? And I will say, whenever
it would be the coolest rave party, man.
Yeah, that's an area.
When they moved downstairs, Cash and Culture, I do feel like they tried to be too corporate looking, and it lost its like hangout vibe. But really, the mall, what should they do with this building now that Century 3 Mall is closing? They're selling it off. I have a few ideas. If you have some ideas, please let us know in the Facebook chat, or you can hit me up at River Talk PGH. But what do you guys think? It's a unique building. It's got this huge open area, which is so unique to the mall culture. I've got some ideas.
I go to the Mills thing, and I randomly was at the Mills a couple weeks ago, or a few months ago, because there was like a movie that my mother wanted to see, like one of those kind of like, Christian limited release movies. And I was like, all right, let's go. And we walked around, and it's like there's a dance instructor, there's a basketball practice area, there's like all these sporting things and these, again, destination kind of things. I think that's the future of these spaces, presuming that building's not ready to fall down, because you go in there, there's literally like giant buckets for the leaking that's happening at the one end, because they're not going to take care of that. Not to mention the birds that are hanging out there. There's a big population of birds if we just corner that market. But no, the things like, the indoor go-karts over at Monroeville Mall were so much fun, right?
They have indoor go-karts?
Yeah. It's not in the mall. It's in the plaza outside the mall.
Oh, okay.
But right next to that is, again, like how New Dimension has it, like that tabletop kind of store and play space.
Oh, wow.
Like, I think things like that, things like what the guys do in Brookline, like with looking for group with video games, where you can come in and there's computers and Xboxes and stuff and you play things like that. I think there's a lot of opportunity there.
You think it should still be a mall, just more of a specialty type of mall?
Yeah, let's just use that space and then like have reasons for people to create those third spaces that the mall isn't by itself anymore, right? I'm going to go to the mall. Like, think about the Mills right now. Mom's got to take the youngins to her dance class, the other one to basketball practice, and she gets to go get a coffee and relax on one of those cool little massage chairs that you put $5 in, right?
Yeah.
It's your one-stop solution for that stuff. There's a hair and nail salon in there.
Washington Crown Center, they have a community college inside of the mall.
Yeah, they did that too, like Station Square, like I forget one of those.
Bradford
moved in there, which you walk in and be like this. Like, wait, there's a class taking place there. It's interesting.
It's odd, yeah.
But it's use of the space, right? And now those students have there, and there's stuff for them to do around the school, right? So, as small kind of scale as that is, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I personally came up with a few ideas for Century 3 Mall. I thought a giant indoor park would be interesting because of the layout of the space. You've got the different trees. You've got different plants in there. I feel like you could easily turn that into an interesting park. One of the ideas I thought was a prison for like low offending crimes, like bathroom. Like, if I was able to implement my bathroom
and they
policies,
all just become janitors of the mall.
Yeah, that would actually be a great idea. Yeah. So I'm thinking
bathroom
like
graffiti. Is that what you're gonna say, or bathroom?
The bathroom people who soil the bathrooms. You know what I mean?
So to me, being locked up inside of a Brookstones is kind of the most horrifying thought I can think of right now. So, you never know.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
But, you could just make it like a little community, and maybe if you reform yourself, then you can get out. But, a low-level prison, because you've got all of these little rooms, right? A little more spacious than your typical jail. A little area where you can walk around, a food court area.
So it's like white-collar jail or jaywalking jail?
Jaywalking, people who poop on top of the toilets instead of in the toilets, people who don't wash their hands.
Is this the bar you go to? What is happening?
This happens everywhere, Michael.
Oh, no.
The Upper Decker.
It's it's pretty horrible. We live in a sick society.
Oh, yes. God, and I avoid that stuff.
I've been advocating for very strict and harsh bathroom policies, and I feel like that could be the place where you send these people, the riffraff, send them there to the mall, and then if they can live in this pseudo community, this Truman Show type of community.
Ooh, now you got something there.
Yes.
So now it is like cameraed and everything. The Century 3 correctional reality show.
Asylum.
And then if you can make it there, then you can earn your way back into civilized society.
That's right. But we still have Three Rivers Comic-Con in the bottom floor, just on the side of it, just for kicks.
Well, that was my other idea. Wouldn't that be a great convention center?
Actually, I'm serious. Three Rivers Comic-Con is a thing that happens there.
Yeah,
and it's
but
great.
I feel like that could be their main thing. You've got all of these small, like all of these stores along the side where you could turn into booths. You've got the main area in the middle with the giant ceiling. That would be a fantastic convention center. You could use it as a banquet room as well. You have all of those little stores you could turn into little banquet centers. You've got the food court with all of the food sections.
The middle can be just an indoor golf course.
Be cool.
For a convention, yeah. If you had a golf convention in there, that would be something you could use it for. I think it would be a great convention center, actually.
There you go.
I'm seeing like a Well, you hit the nail on the head when you said, "Is there going to be another UPMC?" I think realistically, it's probably going to be a big business. Just taking that space and
not paying taxes.
Chewing it up, just loving it. They're probably going to sell it cheaply. But how about like a rec center? Place for the community to do the things you were just saying, like miniature golf, basketball courts, racquetball courts, just a community rec center.
Wouldn't it be something? Yeah, if they did do something community. I mean, realistically, some business is going to buy it and do whatever, and it's going to be strip malls. I bet. But if it was like we just had this big community space right in the middle, because it is literally in the middle of all that shopping center situation over there, right? So why not?
One other idea I had, which I thought would be fantastic, and I saw a Facebook event, and I don't know if it's legitimate or not. I may...
Oh, is it the Limp Bizkit one again?
The what?
Oh, the Limp Bizkit is playing the Get-Go parking lot or something like that?
Oh, no. This was talking about...
that one keeps coming up like once a year.
This was a giant Nerf battle at Century 3 Mall. I feel like you could turn that into there's a couple different options, either a trampoline park or like a Nerf battle where you could
World's
pay to get
largest ball pit.
That would be fun. But seriously, think about it. Think about like playing Capture the Flag in that building. You have different bases, different levels people could stay on. If you have Nerf guns, you could have people literally on different levels shooting Nerf guns down on you as you're trying to make your way down the middle. It would be like...
That'd be sweet.
Like Halo in real life or something. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Was that Zach in the chat saying paintball earlier?
Indoor
paintball.
Yeah, indoor paintball. That's the same kind of idea. Wouldn't that be like the perfect location for something like that? You could really...
Paintball war.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I really think that could be an option for Century 3 Mall.
Things like that. We've been seeing these kind of big space VR situations where like multiple people with headsets and then they're moving in space and one's got a sword, but it looks like a sword if you're in the VR, and people have like a gun-looking thing and it's a gun in the VR, and they can see each other, but just like in this giant space like that.
So if anyone has any other ideas on what we should turn Century 3 Mall into, please let us know. But I do want to roll into the judging segment. I know you've got a few topics, Michael, that I could judge.
So we're kind of mashing up the awesome things in the judging this week.
You're gonna mix we're doing? You want to mix the awesome thing of the month in with the judging?
Of sorts, because there are things from the show that I wanted you to judge.
Okay, then maybe we'll hold off on the judging.
Okay.
We'll roll all of that into the end of today's show.
Okay.
Let's take a quick break, and when we come back from that break, we'll have the weird news. And that's right around the corner, right here on River Talk on the River's Edge Radio Network.
Hey, it's Mike Sasson. Guess what? You used to love us at 10. You're going to love us even more at 9. It's me. It's Alex. It's funniness. It's guests. It's all sorts of me yelling into microphones only 1 hour earlier. It's exactly what you need at 9 o'clock. It's like a shot of adrenaline. It's the Mike Sasson Show, now starting at 9 o'clock on Tuesday on the River's Edge, a new kind of radio.
Hi, this is Zanetta.
And I'm Shane.
And we're here to talk about the Wilkins Block Party.
The Wilkins Block Party is a local music and arts festival featuring live music and art, food trucks, and tons of fun activities.
This year's festival will be thrown for the benefit of One Hood Media, whose mission is to encourage activism through the arts.
We will have a ton of awesome bands there this year, including Jasiri X and Beauty Slap, and it is going to be held on April 21st at 1 p.m. at Veterans Pavilion in Shenley Park.
See you at the Block Party!
Welcome back to the River's Edge. I am Brian Crawford. I am your number one weapon to defeat the evil Mon Monster, which has abandoned Century 3 Mall. Yeah.
Okay, I thought that's where we were going to put them. I forgot that he had abandoned it. Okay.
Oh, we're going to put him back into Century 3 Mall.
That's the thing. We just put him back.
Cage him into Century 3 Mall.
Nobody else is there. He can scare the birds away.
There we go. So we've got not one, not two, but 3 weird stories to keep the Mon Monster entertained, where I will attempt to save the entire city of Pittsburgh from total destruction. The first one has to do with a police firing, and it had nothing to do with mismanagement of tickets or beating up minorities or anything of that issue. No, this has to do with missing pot. The police officers missed a half-ton of pot. They lost it, and they got fired not only because they lost the pot, but because of who they claimed stole the pot. they blamed the missing pot on stoner mice. So a bunch of pot-smoking stoner mice stole a half-ton of pot.
Sounds a lot more like a couple stoner pigs.
Stoner, I don't know.
Ooh.
It says the dubious excuse 8 police officers in Pilar, Argentina gave after a half-ton of pot disappeared from a police warehouse. About 13,000 pounds of bud were supposed to be in storage, but a recent police investigation revealed that 1,000 pounds were missing, according to The Guardian. And it says the city's former police chief commissioner was ordered to explain the shortfall to a judge, and he and 3 subordinates told a skeptical jurist the missing marijuana must have been eaten by mice. So they blame the mice.
That's possible, right?
It's kind.
I mean,
It feels
prove
kind
wrong?
of possible. Like, I don't know if that's something would be attractive to mice.
Do they? Yeah. Do
don't know.
mice eat plants
pot?
like that? I mean, and
Apparently so.
mice
So-
eat anything.
The other next weird story has to deal with an interesting wind situation. So, as you know, if you've listened to the show, I have a lot of bad experience with wind. Anytime I put an event together, well, except for recently, I've had some good luck, but usually giant windstorms blow through. Well, this one woman, she claims she's innocent for possessing cocaine because she says that the wind blew cocaine into her purse. So, an act of God.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
That's why I don't carry a purse anymore.
That's why I don't get a Century 3 Mall.
Oh.
No,
You know,
I'm just
that's some
joking.
blow, isn't it?
Yeah. The Century 3 was great. I'm going to miss Century 3. But yeah, she got caught with cocaine. She claims it was from the wind. So, have you ever had a weird wind experience?
Like blowing my hat off at events. that's about it.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. With you?
Nothing comes to mind.
No wind
The
experiences?
wind. No.
No.
I mean,
The only
like-
only thing I had was the time when a giant garage tent tried to kill me. But I think I've said that on this show a few times, so I don't know if I'm going to go back into that story again. Unless you guys want to hear it. So, I'll tell you. Basically, I'm at this event. It was the Relay for Life at Cal U. We're there. There's this massive windstorm.
Good event.
The Relay for Life?
Yes.
Yeah,
Our
I
friend
started
was
the Relay for Life at Cal U.
Yes.
They're in their 11th or 12th year now.
Nice.
So it's a very cool event. But I started that, and we had this giant garage tent with these poles that were like huge. They were massive, and it was staked into the ground, and the wind was so forceful that it picked the entire tent up, ripped it through the stakes. It tilted sideways and lunged at me. I had to dive for my life from this garage tent, which was trying to kill me.
Wow.
It was like, and then the cocaine came from the other direction.
Oh. And then it was like a tornado. It was a cocaine tent tornado.
Yeah, it was I don't know, cocaine NATO or whatever.
Coke-nado.
Coke-nado.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
good. I like that.
Coming soon to Sci-Fi Channel.
Yes. See, I expect royalties.
Mm-hmm.
Royalties from that. So the third story I have here for everybody actually comes from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, if I can get it up here.
They let you look at a story.
Yeah.
Do you subscribe?
I am a subscriber to the
Oh,
Post-Gazette.
nice.
Yeah, so I
Nice.
could
So
read
you
all
get
of the stories.
Annoyed less
I do, yeah.
than the rest of us.
Yes, yeah, I am a subscriber. I do pay for the newspaper. I
Would
used
you
to.
like to consider removing your ad blocker? Please get rid of your ad blocker. You're making us all sad.
Oh, at the Post Gazette.
Yeah, that's no every publication on the internet these days.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like, now I have a lot of friends that work at KDK, so I'm not trying to throw shade.
Oh, I
But-
throw shade at my friend who's an executive producer at KDK.
Yeah,
all
but
the time.
KDKA, my God, you go there. I've actually gotten malware
Oh yeah.
from KDKA's website.
Oh yeah.
It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
They should be ashamed.
Yes. But there's it's every news site. It's every
They're
news site.
worse though. I feel like they're worse than most people.
And they're corporately owned by CBS, so that's CBS.
Yeah, I know.
So
It's wild.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have so many issues with KDKA. I'm interested to see what happens with their TV radio dynamic as they go forward, because the radio, CBS sold off their radio. So it's under a different ownership now. So I'm interested to see if anything changes there. But an attorney was struck with puppy love.
Oh.
And this is a local attorney. Attorney Ivan Dvorin will stand trial on criminal charges because he had sex with a yellow Labrador Retriever, a puppy. So yeah,
when the Oz go to
it's just love in the air. So he had a few Scooby snacks and and Fido came a running.
Jeez,
how do you get caught? And
well, let's read on. Yeah. Says District Judge Kevin Cooper Jr. on Thursday ruled that Mr. Dvorin should be held for court on 10 felony counts of aggravated cruelty to animals, 10 misdemeanor charges for sexual intercourse with animals, and 4 misdemeanor drug charges. It says here that Mr. Dvorin, 61, has been in the Allegheny County Jail since the arrest on January 28th, will soon be freed with an ankle monitor and intense supervision for drug addiction and mental health issues. And that's a quote from Brent McCune, who was representing Mr. Dvorin along with his co-counsel. So it says here, let's see if it says how he got caught. It says that the detective found drugs and paraphernalia in the home, collected dog bedding and sheets from the bed, and confiscated a 6-month puppy named Snoopy. A humane officer took the puppy to a veterinarian where the dog was treated for internal injuries. So looks like there was evidence at the scene of the house and then evidence in the dog that was tested by the veterinarian.
Jeez.
So
that doesn't seem like the kind of thing that just manifests itself at 61.
Probably not. I would imagine not.
No.
Like I said, he was struck with puppy love, and he decided to act on his emotions. So he would be not the type of person I would throw in the Century 3 mall jail that I envision.
No, especially if we still have a Petco around.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is guilty.
Yeah, for him, I mean, well, I don't know. He's got a judge. It's alleged at this point. So he's got his own judge. That judge will make a ruling on that particular issue.
Was this in town, or was it just in the Post-Gazette?
Oh, it was in the Pittsburgh area, yeah.
Okay.
So, Highland Park.
Oh.
Yeah, so not far from here.
Close to home for me.
Yeah, it's not really far from here either, so. So we're going to say we've got the awesome thing of the month that's coming up at the end of today's show, but I want to talk with Zach about the music festival. You're going to be performing at the music festival, and you also just recently had an album release party. How did that show go? It was at the stage at Karma.
Yes, it was. We released a live record that we recorded right over
here. Yeah, at the Funhouse.
Yeah, at Smalls Funhouse. The release went well, and we pulled out a lot of people, and I was proud of that. The show itself was we played well. We had a lot of energy. We rocked, and we're playing with a drummer nowadays. Yeah, we started off without a drummer, and we've since added one, and the energy's really increased in the music. It's been great.
That's awesome. So tell me about the album. It was recorded here. Sure.
This is the first album we did by ourselves, which took some time, and there was a lot of learning. And our bass player, Patrick McGinley, did a great job and was diligent and spent a lot of time, cleaning it up. I mean, even though it's a live record, there's still EQing and still a lot of things that need to be done. And he just took it under his wings. He has a passion to do that. He has a side project, which is electronic. So he's used to being in that, with dealing with the programs. And we've 2 new songs on there. Within there's the rest of the album is stuff off of Wheelhouse, which is our first studio album. So it's a good mix. I think 3 new songs, and I want to say 5 songs off of Wheelhouse. So it's a good combination of new and previously recorded stuff.
Who is the new drummer?
Pete Peters.
Okay, yeah, I know Pete. Yeah. He's a great guy. He does a lot of local stuff here in the area as a sound guy as well. So yeah. Great guy to definitely be working with. Now, you guys really took your time with finding a drummer, correct? Because I know it's been a while that you've been without one.
Yes, we lost our drummer in 2016. He moved out of state, and we just went. We played 3 years without one, 2 years with one, and then took some time with it. Yeah, about that. And then we took another 2 years without, and then we just Pete's a very recent acquisition. But we wrote a lot of these songs on. We have a new record coming out this summer, a full-length studio release, and most of the songs that we wrote were when we had our drummer Mike, and so we were recording this record with songs that were written with a drummer, and we had to get a drummer. And Pete is not on this record.
Okay.
But, we do like to write with drums, so that's moving forward. We're gonna be doing that.
Yeah, that's great. So, was it easy to as a transition to bring Pete in? Because he's a professional, so that makes things easy as far as that goes. But
yeah,
what are like what's the process of bringing somebody new into the band, especially when you've been playing without a drummer for a while to bring him back in?
Yeah, he's easy to work with, and he's such an easygoing guy. The process is just, we have a lot of stuff recorded and a lot of versions of these songs with drums or without, and then we just we rehearse and we ask him to learn. We give him the recordings and he plays along to them. We're just asking him to learn a lot of material. We haven't written yet with Pete. I don't know how that process is going to go. We've always written just the four of us or less, but. We're just rehearsing, just trying to get him to learn as much of the material as he can, so our sets can be all of our entire catalog. Right now he has, I'll say half, maybe half. We have a lot of songs, but he has the core down that we would play live. He's doing great.
Great.
Yeah.
Zach Rock of Nameless in August here with me, Brian Crawford on the River's Edge Radio Network. What can you tell me about the new songs? You said you have 3 new songs.
Just on the three songs on the live record will be on the release that's coming out this summer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've plenty of new songs. Well, the record's going to be 12 songs.
Okay, so you have 12 new songs. I understand now. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, what made you showcase these ones first? Was there a?
I guess how they turned out live. I mean, what's funny about live releases is that that isn't the. I don't even think the songs on the record are the sequence in which we played them live, which is nothing new to the live recordings. And there's songs we took out, and it's just like these 3 new songs turned out the best, we'll say, or just we wanted fit well with the songs we chose to put on the live album, and that's why. And some are just really, really we wanted to showcase them early and showcase the acoustic, because the live album does not have drums. So it's kind of Nameless in August, the original, how we were in 2013, 14, and 15 and 16 was 2013, 14 was with without a drummer, pretty stringy band, and then so I'm glad we showcased these songs without drums one last time. And the studio album's coming out and it's rock. There's good presence of drums on this album.
So that's a different process going to from the studio versus the live album release. So what kind of process do you prefer working in?
Well, the live record, the process is simple because all the tracking is done that night on stage.
Yeah.
And if you screw up, if it's very poor, then that song doesn't make the cut. So I mean, there's completely different processes, right? Just there's so much post-production on a live record, but the tracking, what you played that night is what you played. When it came to making the record, there were times we'd get cuts back, and we were just filtering out what we want to do and some changes. And there were a couple of times I was like, I'm going to go in there and redo this part. We need to do this part differently. Or I want to change the melody. There was we were almost done, and then I recently was singing a part of a song differently. It just came about. The song's we'll say 3 years old, and then I started singing this ending differently, and I'm like, I'm gonna go back in there and retrack that ending. And it was we were 3 weeks away from finalizing the record, at least going into mixing, going into mastering. And I went in there and just cut the last verse again.
Oh wow!
I changed it. Yeah, I'm glad I did. And that's normal. It really is.
Yeah, I can believe it. That kind of stuff would drive me insane. So I'm glad I don't have to do it, because I like to do a one take and get it done. But I mean, for an album like that, you want the best quality because people are going to listen to it over and over and over again. So
yeah, but I love live records and I love the crowd. I remember I gave the record to someone, the live record, and they're like, I don't like live records. I don't like hearing the crowd. I don't like hearing the crowd. I'm like, oh, I love that part of it. And it's obviously a live energy, and there's banter and dialogue, which will forever probably be annoying to hear the same dialogue. There's really not dialogue on a studio recording.
Sure.
But there's some funny parts on the live record. There's an air. Jeremy and I mess up the beginning of a song, and it's hilarious, and we put it on the record.
What did you say? What happened?
We were doing at the beginning of this one song, the name of the game. We started off by, I don't know, we sing "Hey baby, hey baby, I wanna know," and we do it 2 times. Then we decided to do it a third time, and then Jeremy went on to do it a 4th time, and I didn't. And he just like kind of goes, "Hey, hey," and we just crack up, and I left him high and dry, and the crowd really like picks up and laughs at that part. It's funny.
That's funny.
I'll give you. I don't have a copy with me, but
yeah. Well, I want to check it out. So that sounds great.
It's on Spotify, and you could listen to that name of the game intro. It's funny. I leave him high and dry, and he just sings a harmony. Like he just comes to a complete stop in the middle of it, and it's funny.
That's great. So you guys are going to be playing at the Millvale Gardens this year for the Millvale Music Festival, back for your second year, and you're going to be closing that stage out. So I feel like that's going to be really the perfect stage for you guys. It really just feels like it's exactly what I would envision for Nameless in August. It just kind of fits. I don't know, it fits you guys.
Yeah, I get earthy. It's a very earthy spot.
Yeah,
we're an earthy band. And obviously, it's a garden. It's a beautiful outdoor space. The stage, the acts on the stage really complement each other well for that day, and really excited to be playing. We're really looking forward to the music festival. That is going to be a great stage.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very cool, and it's going to be in a good location. If you're not familiar with the gardens here at Millvale, there's this giant, well, I wouldn't say giant, but there's this little greenhouse and a shed, and it's back in that area, and there's actually going to be hop lines going behind you, hops for beer, which I believe they use those hops at Grist House, or at least they did at one point.
Yeah, we're going to do it this year. Last year we weren't able to use them because you have to use dry hop, you have to fresh hop, like the flour. You have to use them within like 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
We weren't in a situation, we didn't need hops the next day.
Yeah.
They didn't know that. They gave them no. We actually bought them, but we bought them obviously to support them, but we never actually ended up. I don't think we put them in a beer, but we're working out this year. We're going to time it out that we will be able to use Millvale hops in a beer.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
I think that would be very interesting. And can I say where you work?
Yeah,
okay. You work at Grist House Brewing, which is one of the sponsors for the music festival, and they're going to be selling that beer at the gardens, which is pretty cool. So that'll be, I think, a really cool experience. But you guys have so many unique types of beer. I know winter just passed. I don't know if you brought it out this year. I didn't see it, but you did the Putin's breakfast in previous years.
Yes.
Which I really, really liked. And that was an interesting blend. It was the Black in the USSR beer, which is one of the great beers you have. And then you guys blended that with coffee as well.
Vanilla and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, which is really cool. So what all do you do with Grist House?
I'm in charge of outside sales and events and a lot of administrative things. I'm up in the offices getting our beer out to bars. I mean, not a lot of bars, but just a few. We don't give it to everyone, and we don't have it enough to give to everyone.
Yeah, sure.
And then when there's events such as the Millvale Music Fest, I'll be working that stage. I'll be pouring at the stage, and then I'll be jumping up on stage and singing. And then I'll go back to, I won't be pouring afterwards, but yeah, I'll be there all day, drinking, pouring, and big pour. Any beer festivals, I'll work them and sign us up for them and try to get us in the most unique events that could put us in.
I feel like it's a cool job to have, and I always think of craft brewing. It's an art form in and of itself. Obviously, music's an art form, so you're kind of living in the arts world the way I see it.
Yes, and before I had this job, I actually correlated breweries with bands.
Oh, really?
Hear me out. It goes together so well, and it's very simple because
that's interesting.
There's a huge correlation, and it's just simple as this. Breweries are to bands, as our hit songs are to hit beers. Like Southern Tier comes out with this amazing beer called Pumpkin, 10 years ago, and that song, that beer, put them on the map, and now that brewery is this huge brewery, this big
massive
band. So these breweries are all trying to make, artists are trying to write a song, or bands are trying to write the song, and they're just consistently making good songs, and you make that one that's it. And so breweries are all trying. There's a lot of them. It's competitive. I mean, it's not a tangible. What is tangible? But it's consumable. But it's not. You drink it and it goes away. Just like you hear a song and it's it's not. You can't really hold a song, and you can't really hold a beer like per se. But you make the beer and it's a hit, and that's your hit song, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
everyone's
absolutely.
trying to make a hit.
No, very, very cool. So I'm very excited. It's going to be the Gardens of Millvale, which is I'm even looking up your guys' time right now. 7 o'clock. Yeah, so you're wrapping up that stage. I believe you guys are the last ones on that stage to kind of bring that stage together and everything out at the end, which I think is going to be great. I'm really excited. It's one of our new stages this year. It's gonna be a blast. I'm very excited for the full festival, and we're gonna be bringing in bands, basically musicians and band members from acts at multiple stages on this program and on the Saturday show all the way up into the music festival. So lots of stuff to look forward to there. So what else do you guys have coming up on the horizon before we roll into the awesome thing of the month?
Sure thing. We're doing Edinburgh Arts and Music Festival. We'll do Deutschtown. We'll try to play as many festivals as we can in the summer. We're not traveling as much this year. Our banjo player just had a baby last month.
Oh wow!
So we're trying to stay a little.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah, Jason, he's doing great. He's going to be a great dad. But in the past we've done. We would definitely like going south, and we'll get out. We're gonna hit West Virginia, North Carolina, and Virginia like we have in the past, and get this record out to as many people as we can.
Very cool.
Very excited to be in Millvale at the festival.
We're
gonna rock that stage. It's
gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it. And then you guys are going to a bunch of different festivals. What's the value that you see in performing at these festivals?
That's the demographic we want to reach. You never know when you go to a venue or a bar who's there, but when you're at a festival, those are the people who are listening and passing the music on, the people who are passionate about young artists. So you're playing to the people you want to be playing to, and they typically spread the music better.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It really is just a great way to network as well and meet new people. And especially I know Jonathan, who heads up the booking committee, does a very good job of matching certain bands up. So I think in many ways it's easy, at least with our festival, to find bands that complement you to play with. So here on that stage, the Gardens of Millvale, I have the list here. It's Gathering Waters starts at noon, followed by the Lonesome, Lost, and Foggy, then the Lonely Lights, the Mixus Brothers, the Amadillos, the Shameless Hex, Ezra's Authentic Snake Elixir, which is an awesome name, and then Nameless in August to wrap things up at 7. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great stage, and it's right down the street from Grist House, so that way you can bounce back and forth between the two if you're interested in drinking those beers throughout the day, and it's a good opportunity to do so.
I agree.
All right, Zach, thank you so much.
Thanks for having. Yeah, thanks. Loved it.
Yep, Zach Rock, Nameless in August, and what's your guys' website?
namelessinaugust.com.
There it is. Check it out. Get the album, and they've got the studio album coming out soon as well. And we'll when we have more information on that, we will get that information out to you. That's Zach Rock, Nameless in August. I'm Brian Crawford. That's Michael Sorg, and he has the awesome thing of the month, and we're going to roll that into the judging segment this week.
Yeah. Maybe we can do...
Got the gavel.
You got the gavel. We got to get some use out of it this week.
Yes.
So why don't we do a awesome or not awesome verdict?
Okay.
For this week.
I think that's good.
I think I pulled 3 interesting stories, one very local, and we'll take a look at these. So... first up, I got this came up actually out of Next Pittsburgh in the last couple of days. Are you guys familiar with Smallman Galley down there? It's like kind of a startup for restaurants kind of thing, if I understand appropriately.
Interesting.
So like you go down there, there's a couple of food entrepreneurs, and it's like they're kind of lined up there, and you can sample from them, and it's a pretty nice place. I've done some events there in the past to get a look at that. But the tech side of it, and there's an article about these interestingly themed cocktails they're going to have here in the as part of it. Some fun themed ones, like including the Land Party, which is a mix of tequila, Cool Ranch Doritos, pizza roll syrup, Mountain Dew, Code Red, bitters and lime. Like weird stuff like that, right? Which is kind of interesting. But you're going to be able to view these cocktails on a ViewMaster.
So wait, not in front of you?
No. You do you remember the ViewMaster?
Is that the thing with the red red goggles?
I have a picture of it here, but for those that may be on audio,
they're usually red, and they have the thing you pull down,
and the lever, and you have a circle card that has these images on it. And the whole idea is because it's hitting both your eyes, you have this kind of 3D effect to it. I would maybe see like old He-Man and the Masters of the Universe ones back when I was a kid. Aging me. So you're going to see the cocktails in 3D in a ViewMaster that they put together for this thing, for this event that they're doing.
That's crazy.
So I thought that was a really awesome thing in an interesting way. Obviously, it's kind of like a chic little PR stunt kind of situation, right? But yeah, it's going to be So what do you think of seeing your cocktail selections and the menu represented?
So this
in
would
front
be
of
at an
you?
actual restaurant that you would be able to do this?
Yep, this is at Smallman Galley.
Okay.
So it's part of the stuff they're doing there.
I'm gonna come down with a ruling that's awesome. I like it because I feel like it's unique. It's something. It makes it a game instead of just sitting there and opening a menu. And
Ooh, that looks good. It's like it's right in front of me.
exactly, I love it. I think it's makes it fun. It's an activity. Then it's not just sitting there, like I said, and looking at a menu. That's so boring.
Right. And in a world of VR, it's kind of cool to go back to this old school way of 3D VR. Because honestly, I've seen like these VR things where it's like those by themselves, like Samsung Gear VRs, and they're basically kind of doing the same thing. Like, we're just going to show you a 3D slideshow of something, right?
Yeah.
And here they are, is like, well, why don't we just show you a 3D slideshow the way that we did it in the 80s?
That is pretty sick. I like that.
So-
One thing I do want out of a VR, and I'm actually considering getting a VR just for this reason, is I do like the idea of watching Netflix in an actual movie theater where it looks like you're in a movie theater, but you're not actually in the movie theater. You don't have to smell the people. You don't have to listen to the kids. You don't have to.
There's a poster of BoJack Horseman for some reason in the room when you do it. Have you tried one of these?
No, I haven't.
Literally, there's one for Netflix does this. It's an app for the Gear VR.
I've heard about it. Yeah.
And then there'll just be posters for like some of their shows, like BoJack Horseman's over here. Hulu does a similar thing too. I haven't been in it for a while because my password's too difficult to enter in a VR situation. But
yes,
but still, like it like you do have that experience.
Yeah, and I want to try that out. I think that would be very, very cool. So, but this is a better idea though for restaurants.
So item 2, and so the jokes on this were, if you want to kind of look like Bane, and I'll show you guys here the video in general. So you're in an open office environment, and I know a lot of people that work in co-working spaces. We have a very open environment for us, which is difficult sometimes for us recording, and it's just like in that situation.
There's pluses and minuses.
The guy takes a call next to you, and I had that when I was in co-working. The guy was on the phone all the time, right?
That's obnoxious.
Yeah. So
especially when someone's in the car with you, and you're giving them a ride, and they're on the phone talking to someone else while you're sitting there afraid to say anything, and you're driving their ass around. Like, that drives me nuts.
Maybe you don't want to share that information.
That's the type of person that would go into the jail at Century 3. That type of jail. People who do that.
To keep you out of jail, it's this device called the Hush Me. I don't think this is entirely new, but it's the first that we've discovered it here on the show. So it's a device that I believe it's a Bluetooth device that it wraps around your face. Think like, if you've ever seen like kind of the jawbone, like kind of around the back of your neck, Bluetooth
this thing
devices.
looks like a scarf almost.
Yeah. This is a giant plastic scarf, and it actually wraps, and you connect it like at your mouth, right? And it'll muffle it, and you're talking with them, and you have the earphones in, and you can have your conversation, and it's not projected for everybody, to hear in your space. The example they show, this guy is like literally at a desk on a laptop next to another guy on a desk and a laptop. Again, that open work environment kind of situation that even some businesses are doing these days, getting out of cubicle land, right? So it sounds like this is a concept you might be into.
It looks like the Bane mask.
So
exactly. So if you want to do your Bane impression,
can't see it,
when I was a kid, I had really, really messed up teeth, and I had to get braces twice. And the first time I had braces, I had this overbite on the jaw. So I had to wear this contraption. It was this strap. They put it on your head, and you had this metal thing that you would stick in your mouth, and it would come out of your mouth, and you had gum bands that would attach it to this headpiece. And it was to move your jaw backwards. And it looked like the villain in some sort of bad B-rated sci-fi movie. And when I went to the orthodontist, he told my dad that I had to wear this contraption all the time. My dad told him no. He said he's not wearing that to middle school.
I'm not going to socially do that to my child.
He said he can wear it overnight. That thing reminds me of that contraption coming out of my mouth. I would never wear something like that. And I think we just need to hold people accountable to common courtesy. You don't need to buy a contraption that makes you look like some lame-ass villain. Yeah, from a Batman movie. Just walk into a different room or go outside. I was watching Better Call Saul. I've been watching Better Call Saul lately, and I'm getting caught up. It's a great TV show. It's a prequel to Breaking Bad. and this girl was stuck working in the mailroom, and instead of taking calls in the mailroom, she went out to the stairwell, and she would take a call in the stairwell. It's common courtesy. I'm coming down with a not awesome verdict. I don't like it. I wouldn't use it. And if I saw somebody else using it, I would probably make fun of them.
And report them in Century 3 jail.
And put them in Century 3 jail, yes.
All right.
So I'm coming down with a not awesome verdict.
Well, this last one, I was actually, it just connected because I was inspired because we recently had a video where you were excited about your trash can.
Yes.
Your
oh my God. And it's amazing. I've got, Zach, in case you didn't see this episode, I have an automatic motion censored stainless steel trash can. Not one, but two of them. One for the bathroom and one for the kitchen. So you don't have to touch the lid of the trash can. Wow. It's really, people who have these trash cans are heroes in the fight against biological warfare.
You're saving us all.
Really, I am, because I could be spreading disease and contamination.
Thank you.
By not having that trash can. Exactly. So I think those are really, it's a huge advancement in household cleanliness tech.
So Brian sent us in the AwesomeCast group a video of him demonstrating this trash can, right? I don't know if you guys have seen that. I don't know if you shared it with your audience on your social media. But so we played it on the show, which worried people at first because he's in the bathroom sitting on the toilet. And we disclosed, he's got pants on. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it wasn't an erotic video.
It was not an erotic video. He was not doing his Hulk Hogan in the bathroom impression. Yeah, I hope you haven't seen that
subject.
I have not.
Don't look it up. Don't look it up.
I am going to be broadcasting from my shower soon.
Oh, good, because I have the perfect thing for you.
Really?
How about a shower curtain where you can put your devices in?
I heard about this on that show. Yeah.
Yes. I think we did bring it up the same show, right? Geez. So it's just a clear shower curtain. It's got the pockets. I'm guessing on the outside, so you can put your phone or your iPad there. So you can interact through the curtain, right? Because of just the plastic thing, like if you ever put it like in a Ziploc bag or something. So you can, I don't know, watch your morning news stream or check your tweets and email while you're showering or other creative things you can probably think of in the shower. So yeah, you can just or I love the image that just has this person with like a full-size iPad and an iPhone and a Samsung phone and some other phone, or if you want to reenact the scene from Watchmen with Ozymandias, where he's watching all the television screens, but with like all of your old iPhones, like you can do that in the shower. And that has been made available to you. It's out there.
Yeah, there's the woman in the video. She literally has 3 gadgets that she's operating all at the same time, so she doesn't have to actually switch screens. So I don't know. I'm torn on this one. I don't know if I want to say awesome or not awesome, because part of me says just put the phone down for a few minutes. Then again, I am the guy who is still contemplating bringing in a shower Alexa so I can order my soap while I'm showering. So I am considering that.
But does Alexa hear you over the shower?
She would actually be in the shower with you.
Yeah,
so like that's actually what I'll show you the video later but I bought a shower speaker, a Bluetooth shower speaker, and I can just cast whatever's on my phone to the more and more I think about it, the more and more this is not a bad idea.
I knew you were going to do that.
I was kind of against it, but I'm like, it's awesome that it exists, but I wouldn't do it. But now that I'm thinking about it, if I wanted to change the station while I was in the shower, I wouldn't be able to do it.
You gotta reach out with your wet hand and like, please
it.
Don't mess up my phone because I cannot take this song right now.
Yeah. So I don't know. For the reason that this woman's using it, I think is a little extreme. I don't think you need to tweet from the shower or text message from the shower, but I can understand. I could see the value of switching from. So maybe like I get into the shower and I really want to listen to the River's Edge, and in the middle of like putting soap under my armpit, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm really feeling like I want to listen to the Metal Edge. Then I'd be able to just reach over and change stations.
Yep.
While still soaping.
Yep. You don't have to de-soap. You don't have to de-soap to change the channel.
That's a good idea. I can kind of see the value in that. However, I would rather just get the Alexa speaker, which I was thinking about. So that basically I bought this one shower speaker for $20. I could have spent another $30 to get the Alexa-enabled shower speaker, and then I'd be able to just, while in the middle of showering, and the Alexa would be in there with water pouring on her because she's waterproof, and I could say, Alexa, play this station, Alexa, do that.
I also like that we say, she's waterproof.
Yeah.
If we had show titles, that would be the show title.
We do have show titles on this show. So.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I just listen to the stream, so.
There we go, see? riversedgepgh.com. It's a great way to do it. And also, don't forget, you can also ask your Alexa, speaking of Alexa, to play the River's Edge station on TuneIn, and you can listen to us that way as well. And it's great because with the shower speaker one, she's there, she's getting water on her. I'm thinking, the more and more I'm thinking about it, I should just buy that one and return the $20 one. But you could literally say, Alexa, play this, play that. She'll respond to you. And then you're down to your last bar of soap. You don't want to forget. You can say, Alexa, order me soap from the shower while your mind's on it. And then you never forget.
I'm thinking like taking notes in the shower because that's when you have all your good ideas.
Yeah. That's true. You could add things to your calendar while you're showering.
Which your Alexa or Google Home can do the same. I don't trust Siri to do it.
No, Siri's not very good.
No,
I don't think anymore. She's kind of taken a step back. So
it gets better when you have a newer phone, I've noticed, but it's still
not as
she's
good.
A little snappier. But for me, it's the interface with my car. But it's a whole other thing.
Yeah. So I really wouldn't. I'm thinking about getting some options to bring Alexa to the car as well. So that might be something I talk about when I come on AwesomeCast. But there are.
Which you'll be on in a couple of weeks, I believe,
yeah,
right?
there are a few options, yeah. So, but that's a nice thing. You can put Alexa into your shower, and she won't die, and you don't have to worry about sending her to Hahn Funeral Home, the only family-owned funeral home in Millvale. And I don't even know if you could give an Alexa a green burial because it's a piece of machinery, but if it's possible, Hahn's has the ability.
It's all about the endeavor and the goal, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is it. That is the awesome thing of
When you get your verdict, though, my man?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
I'm curious. I want to see.
Yeah.
I am going to go with a not awesome because I think you need to be able to put the phone down to at least shower. Get the Alexa speaker. Why would you don't want to touch the phone while you're showering. You're too busy, actually, using the soap and the shampoo.
Too much multitasking you're thinking.
Yeah, you could just voice to Alexa to do this, that, or the other, and just get rid of the fingers.
That is the future.
And you don't need, and even if you really feel that compelled to text message someone, Alexa could do that for you as well. So you still don't need to touch the phone to text while showering. You can just ask Alexa to do it when you get the Alexa speaker, and then it's all right there. So
yeah, when it's hanging on the curtain, you're pushing it against there. You're not gonna be able to. It's gonna be awkward to handle the phone.
That's what I feel like.
Hanging,
yeah. You see in the video the guy kind of grabs the phone through the through the shower curtain.
That's
so
probably annoying. Probably hard to maneuver through a phone like that.
I would imagine so. So that is it. That is the awesome thing of the month. So thank you guys so much for coming in. I'll be back. What is today? Sunday. I'll be back Thursday, actually. Thursday evening with an interview here in studio, and then I'll be back next Sunday as well, Saturday and Sunday of next week. So lots of good stuff to look forward to. Stay tuned to riversedgepgh.com. In the next week or so, I'm going to be rolling out a Millvale Music Festival interview page where I'm just going to get all of the interviews that we've done and are doing for the music festival, put that all on there. So it's a one-stop spot to meet different artists and things like that. So that's something to look forward to as well. So, don't forget, riversedgepgh.com, local music up next. Thanks so much to Zach Rock of Nameless in August, Michael Sorg for the monthly segment. You can hear him watch him live every Tuesday at the Sorgatron, at AwesomeCast, the Facebook page, and awesomecast.net. And then you can hear him every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. here at riversedgepgh.com. For Zach Fell behind the board, I'm Brian Crawford. This has been River Talk on the River's Edge Radio Network, and we have local music up next. We're going to play a song from Nameless and August to close out today's show. See you on Saturday.
There's a young man down the hall, and he's sleeping with his jawbone broken. Busted wide open. just taking a swing at the world. Get done, knocked him on the ground. Now he's sleeping in his bed all alone. But every now and then, when he wants you as a friend, you come running right by his side. Might be ashamed to say, you know, you'll be on your way, you know. You're holding that little boy's hand. And on the way up, they'll all fill your cup. Oh, that's the way it goes. And when you're falling down, they're reaching out with their frowns. And that's the way it goes. 'Cause there's always someone saying you won't belong. And that's the way it goes. Just look them in the eyes and tell them what you are. And that's the way it goes. Someone's gonna tear him off the wall. I hope you're the one to say, man, what's the deal here? 'Cause every now and then, when this world falls to an end, I promise I'll hold you tight. You might be ashamed to say, you know, world's that way, you know. No, my life's a little journey. 'Cause on the way up, they will all fill your cup. Oh, that's the way. When you're falling down, they're reaching out with their frown. That's the way it goes. 'Cause there's always someone saying you won't belong. And that's the way it goes. Just look them in the eyes and tell them what you are. And that's the way it goes. Someone saying you won't belong. That's the way it goes. Look them in the eyes, tell them what you are. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. All fill your cup. That's the way it's gonna go.